So maybe the quick question we ask all the time, you think, based on what you said, we think we live in simulation? Do you think that we're living in simulation?
Great question. There's similarities between what I'm saying and Nick Bostrom and Elon Musk's ideas about simulation theory, and there are big differences. So the similarity, both simulation theory and what I'm talking about say that space-time is, as you perceive it right now, and objects are not the final reality. They're just a data structure.
Mm.
And so we agree on that. But where we disagree is that the simulation theory says that this space-time data structure is the result of some computer programmer at a lower level of reality, right? And that programmer could also, in their world, could be the simulation of yet a lower level. And they go all the way down to some base level. And that base level is always assumed to be a space-time physical reality. So they assume that the ground of all the simulation is space-time, some kind of space-time framework. And I deny that. I say that evolution by natural selection entails that that cannot be the right language for the base level. That's one difference. The second difference is they assume in the simulation theory that the right complexity in the computer algorithm can create consciousness, or perhaps the illusion of consciousness. Some people say there is no such thing as consciousness. Maybe there's the illusion of consciousness. But so I'll take both. In the case of where they claim it creates genuine consciousness, that's the hard problem of consciousness, and that's not been solved. So they're making an assumption that computer programs properly, with a proper complexity, can create consciousness. The burden of proof is on the person who claims that. There is no evidence yet of a theory that can explain that. And if you say no, I don't think that it creates genuine consciousness, it creates the illusion of consciousness. So Dan Dennett and Keith Frankish, for example, take that point of view. And I say fine. And they're brilliant guys, and I had a wonderful conversation with Keith Frankish. He's an incredibly brilliant philosopher. But what I argued with him, and he agreed, is that what they now have to do instead is to give us a mathematically precise theory of how specific computational processes or neural processes give rise to specific illusions. Why is this brain process or this computational process the illusion of the taste of chocolate? Why is it that it could not be the illusion of the smell of vanilla? They still owe us, they don't get off scot-free by saying it's an illusion. There's still hard work to do here. And Keith, of course, completely understands that. But maybe other people don't. So there's still, this is an unsolved problem, how consciousness or the illusion of consciousness comes from computer programs. And so I don't have that problem, right? I have other problems, but I'm starting with consciousness and trying to boot up what we call the simulation from consciousness. They're starting with a physicalist framework, and they're hoping to boot up consciousness or the illusion of consciousness from a physicalist simulation theory. So you can see our points of view on that are completely opposite.